I had to share this with you guys. It is 2:20 a.m. So normally I would be sleeping, but as I was reading the Bible, first of all, I will read to you guys the verse first. I have found such a jewel, a hidden jewel in the Old Testament. This is from 2 Kings 17:17. It reads, "And they burnt their sons and their daughters as offerings, and used divination and enchantments, and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger." So, yeah. Tonight I was reading the Bible. I was reading 2 Kings chapter 17. And as I was meditating on the Word of God, I was thinking and reflecting on myself. And, as you might already know, the Old Testament is of centuries back. It is even before Christ came. So that is several thousand years ago. So some things are different culturally, right? And I was thinking and reflecting what would be equivalent to burning babies as offerings, you know? The other things like using divination and enchantments is relatively easy to relate to the modern world, because there are still lots of people there, they indulge in astrology, like people that are obsessed with like just doing tarot cards, stuff like that. And there are still people going to see the magicians and stuff, sorcery, those type of stuff. It is quite intuitive. It is quite easy to relate to the lives we're living in 2024. But what about the first part of this Bible verse, 2 Kings 17:17, when it read, "And they burnt their sons and their daughters as offerings"? This is specifically referring to one of the idol gods of the ancient times, ancient Middle East, the Moloch, one of the biggest idol figures. And they literally burnt infants, babies. That's pretty graphic, isn't it? But just it came to my conscience. I just came to realize to my conscience that like ejaculating outside a woman's body, like to put it differently, would be just masturbating. Oh, I realized what kind of a fearful sin it is, because the male semen is capable of creating a human being. So I think in the modern world, just the act of masturbation, it is equivalent to burning his own sons and daughters as offerings. We have conscience, each to our own. So I do not know if this makes sense to you, but it just came home to me. and it was very, very intense. It was very intense feeling of realizing what kind of brainwash we've been going through. So much, like, just too much brainwash has to take place in order for us to think that indulging and just conforming to the world, conforming to the pattern of behaviors of the worldly standards, it is very, very dangerous. And in a sense, I feel very ashamed of I having been just too lazy and too just been slacking on reading and meditating on the Word of God. So as tonight I was making some time, and I prayed for a brief moment to God that He would show me some stuff, spiritual things that was necessary. So yeah, that is what I wanted to say in this video, and I will read to you guys the same Bible verse again. It is 2 Kings chapter 17 verse 17. And they burnt their sons and daughters as offerings, and used divination and enchantments, and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger. So yeah, it's as simple as that. I pray that this message, this little message of mine, is going to help you come to your senses, and just the sense of reality. What kind of a fearful sin, what kind of a grave sin it is before the eyes of the Lord, that we are careless, that we are to be careless enough to just like burning infants as offerings to Satan. It is essentially the same thing. Don't you think that? Like, it is essentially the same thing when we think of the old memories. When you look back in your own life, and even including myself, I recall the memories of myself just touching myself, masturbating in front of those screens, smartphones or laptop, personal computers, stuff like that. When you were releasing your seed carelessly, like not realizing that it was your own offspring. Yeah, I think it's fair to say that it is equivalent to the ancient practice of burning infants, burning babies as offerings to the idols, to that Moloch. Yeah, I've heard a few times. I'm sort of afraid of being censored, but I've heard, I'm not going to say the exact name, but I've heard that some of the American politicians, very, very famous ones, they've done something like literally offering babies as burnt offerings. And I remember myself being very shocked when I first heard that news. But even more shocking thing is that we as human beings, we're not too different. If we do not look for the grace of God, we're just bound to we're just bound to the power of darkness. That is the truth. So yeah, my name is Chanyeok, and I hope you guys are doing well, and be strong in the Lord. And just like tonight, I found a hidden jewel in the Bible passages. I pray that you do your own personal inner work to get closer to God, and just dig in those verses and passages in the Bible, so you can strengthen yourself and you can be ready for all the spiritual battles you gotta face each and every day. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Peace. I love you.